In today's story, we learn that something devastating happened to Noah as a child and his body was rendered useless. If you're wondering what that means and how we got here, like usual, either watch the dub or don't ask questions. Get ready to stay disappointed in Yu-Gi-Oh! My fellow Adventure Outlaws. This is Card Games vs. Humanity, and I'm the NKKGG. Time for another recap that I know you all can't wait for. You do realize this is a show about a children's card game, right? So if you enjoyed, don't forget that sub, that bell, that like, become a member of the channel or the Patreon if you want to support me. Leave a comment telling me if it bothers you just as much as me how much time was spent in this episode over Yugi playing one face-down card. Seriously, it wasn't that important. Wanna know what's also not important? That damage that the Big Five took in their last episode. Nah, they're still at 8K and Yugi and Joey are at 4K. Standing there passing around Tristan's body like it's some corporate condo, a not at all suggestive statement if I've ever heard one. He's now controlled by Johnson, who decides now is the time to use this broken Deckmaster ability. Paying 1,000 life points to sweep all four of their monsters and inflicting 1,000 life points of damage to both of them because of course it doesn't even have to select a player. But instead of having a conversation about the mismatch of power levels between Deckmaster abilities, let's head back to Kaiba, who's having a lovely time.
It's a virtual copy of the Duel Monsters theme park I designed!
Wow, who goes to a Duel Monsters themed amusement park? You'd have to be some kind of fucking loser to spend your money there. 2 tickets, please. Apparently this is impossible because just like the government with any contract, production wasn't meant to start for another 4 years at least. Also, let's not ask questions about the security door that you have to win a game of chess to enter. I just feel like it'd be so easy to knock that thing over. We're then treated to what might be the single most devastating turn a villain in the show has ever taken, as Johnson conveniently draws into Hysteric Fairy because of course every member of the Big Five top decks the monster they specifically wanted. Attacking Joey directly for 1,800 life points of damage and then using it as Catapult Turtle's tribute to sacrifice for another 900 life points of direct damage, leaving him with only 300. Is it just a rule in the Wheeler house that they must be extra dramatic and fall down every time they get hit by something non-tangible? Also, I just realized if he had attacked directly with Catapult Turtle first and then used Hysteric Fairy as the tribute, he would have killed Joey right there. Like, even when they're good, they're bad. Setting one card face down before activating the magic card Altar of Mist. A magic card that allows him to add any ritual spell from his deck to his hand in 3 turns, because I guess Sonic Bird and Senju just weren't available today. Seriously, this is the worst fake card in a long time, and I don't care if it's immune to destruction. We then head back to Mr. Wheeler, who has something very important to say.
Johnson.
It's the MVP's turn again, finally, and he draws into the almighty Rocket Warrior, summoning it to the field and raising its attack all the way up to 2,500 with Flame Swordsman's ability. He successfully destroys Yugi's former best friend, the Catapult Turtle. Unfortunately for some, fake cards are all the rage this season, and that's not stopping anytime soon, mind you. Activating Revenge Sacrifice, allowing Jensen to sacrifice that Rocket Warrior that Joey spent all that time boosting up, just so he can summon the Machine King. There's just so much synergy coming together in this deck that I just can't believe it.
Alright, you finish this guy. I'll try.
Anyone else that think Yami might have taken a few pills before this match started? This is like the lowest energy we've ever seen him. Yugi needs a tribute to play this monster with the overcomplicated name, if I've ever heard one, Des Volskel. Luckily for him, he has the Rock Spirit card in his deck that he's never even remotely used or talked about before, and holy crap, he's actually using remove from play effects. I don't know how to handle this. He tributes the Rock Spirit for Desi Boy and lays a face down card. Something that even Joey considers such a low grade move that it forces him to make poses that are not humanly possible. The joke's on him though, because every decent duelist that says they would see it coming falls victim to it at least once per duel in the series anyways.
Like something Yugi would do?
What kind of a man just sits there pelvic thrusting for about 60 seconds straight trying to get his friend's attention? I mean, it just creates more of a situation than there was to begin with. We then spend the next 5 minutes on a situation that really did not need this much explanation spent on it, as we make a huge deal about Yugi laying a basic trap was destroyed by the Big Five's Heavy Storm on the next turn. Don't pay attention to Desi Boy's attack going up by 200 for every magic card that was played, resulting in the Machine King being destroyed and that entire situation being contingent on the fact that he had a 200 attack point boost and it would have been so easy to do anything else to make that not work. Nah, don't pay attention to that. Pay attention to the genuinely odd mouth angles that Yugi and Tristan are doing as they're talking shit to one another. Seriously, Yugi's a little creepy in this episode. The rest of the Big Five called Nesbitt out for being a total idiot for attacking Yugi over Joey, who would have had no way to defend himself, even though later on in the episode we watched that you can just throw your monsters in front of another person's attack whenever you want. Just then, Yugi says the one thing that no person has ever said while watching this channel.
Your acting was key. That made it convincing.
Because Joey was definitely acting the entire time and was 100% in on everything. Our heroes take control of the match while Lecter takes control of Tristan's body, the only member of the Big Five that I actually respect. Yeah, go Lecter! I mean, go Yugi. I guess. Back to Joey's turn. Naturally, he's going to do a lot of damage because the big 5 are wide open. Throwing in the Panther Warrior, a very good card that can attack without a tribute, and of course the other 4 cards in his hand are not Scapegoat. I guess for this one turn, we're not the MVP, but I deserve a break, so here it is in defense mode.
Sorry, Tristan. I must attack directly.
Do what you gotta do, Yugi. Just don't mess up the hair.
You mean that hair that looks like it was built on the Nintendo 64 with such thick, rigid polygons that it looks like no environmental hazard in the entire existence of the universe could possibly make it flutter in the wind even an inch? You mean that hair? Yeah, I think you're fine. After 6 whole turns of doing absolutely nothing, Yugi finally decides to attack Tristan's sexy body directly, bringing him all the way down to 4,200 life points before summoning Big Shield Gardner to the field. So we just watched Yugi do something useful for once. Let's immediately head back to Kaiba, who's walking through this very uninspired room that he's making fun of Noah for building, even though it was definitely his design and he just forgot because it was boring. Immediately, even in this super secret security door hidden behind a game of chess, there's an even more secret door waiting for Seto, bringing him into a room with an old movie projector. I'm sure this will bring him some joy.
It's Noah. Nice outfit, dork.
Please help. I just got hit by a car. I feel like I'm dying.
Yeah, right. Nice outfit, dork.
Because emotions like compassion and sympathy are foreign concepts to Mr. Seto, he assumes Noah made an entire fake newsreel of memories just to prove that he's the real son. Memories that Gozaburo and the hooker I assume that he hired holding a picture of Noah as they walk out of a church saying that there's nothing they can't do to save him.
What is all this supposed to mean?
Oh, it means he's dead, but we'll never actually admit it. It means something devastating happened to Noah right before Seto met Gozaburo. It means someone else must be pulling the strings here, because why would Noah want Seto to know any of this at all? I mean, he is 10 years old, so probably assuming logic of any sort is probably not a good strategy here. Speaking of a good strategy, Joey activates Drop-Off as soon as Lecter begins to turn playing with Tristan's body. Fortunately for our hero, Lecter brought along Jinzo for his deckmaster, automatically destroying all their trap cards before conveniently drawing into cards that only his deck was using before they were mashed together, of course. Plays everyone's favorite off-centered fairy type, Injection Fairy Lily, summoning her to the field because the writers want to make sure that you understand that we are between Legacy of Darkness and Dark Crisis right now. Have we made it clear now? Good. Now here's a secret rare that you'll never have yourself unless you're my friend Yada who cheats and pulls 2 back-to-back together. Seriously, you fucking cheated. Lecter pays the host fee to destroy Yugi's Death's Volscale before laying a card down and ending his turn. Oh wait, never mind, he's actually gonna activate Gravity Bind as well before Joey even draws a card. I'm not really sure how he pulled that one off. You were supposed to be honorable, Lecter. And while Lecter's Jinzo might be a bitch, Joey's Jinzo is certainly not. Being summoned to the field and quickly destroying the Gravity Bind before it becomes even remotely usable. You know, I'm starting to think the writers must have had some PTSD from that card, because every time it gets used in the series, it gets snuffed out immediately.
Come forth, Dark Magician Girl!
Wow, don't like tribute the Big Shield Gardner or anything, just cheat and throw it down and hope that no one notices. Episode ends with Lecter taking a massive 2,000 life points of damage from cheater Yugi, before revealing that it's been 3 turns since Altar of Mist was played, so it activates allowing him to add any ritual card to his deck, because I guess, again, I'm not making any more jokes about Sonic Bird, it's just, you know what the deal is. Well, that's it for this episode. I want to thank you all for watching, and of course a shout out to all my channel members and patrons. If any of you are curious what actually happened to Noah as a child, and you know, just about the concept of death in general, then I have just one piece of advice for you. Watch the fucking dub. This has been the man from Earth with all the girth, ladies and gentlemen. Be the character you know you're worth. Later. A magic card that allows you to add any a card that allows you... I had an itchy nose. Since we just saw Yugi do something useful for once, let's immediately head back to Kaiba. The rest of the Big 5 called Nesbit out for being a total idiot, attacking Yugi. That's almost canceled. I'm canceled.